Ode Saigyo Part 7 from Robert Sewell, page 72, Part 7, Poem 1560, Kumo Kakaru. When autumn comes around the edge of the distant mountains, when autumn comes around the edge of the distant mountains, where the clouds hang, only to imagine it is so melancholy.
About autumn.
When autumn comes around the edge of the distant mountains, where the clouds hang, only to imagine it is so melancholy. Poem 1611, composed when visiting Ishi. Susuka Yama, across the Susuka mountain, and shaking off the floating world for another place. What will become of me as I go ringing a bell? Did we hear that one somewhere?
No, he heard the word floating again.
Across, we read this on another book. Across Suzuka Mountain and shaking off the floating world for another place. What will become of me as I go ringing a bell?
I remember the first part of the poem.
Yeah, we probably had that with a different translator.
Yeah, that was actually 2 poems ago, where the one I asked you to read, because I wanted to make sure that the world was floating.
The floating world means probably the world of
superficial light.
The world samsara.
The world of the city.
World of the city.
On the previous poem, he was referring to the city world.
The capital.
World, capital, yeah.
Everything's a mess in the capital. It's not good for a Buddhist priest.
He said if he was not living, if he never left that floating world of the city.
Poem 1613, composed at Mount Fuji when worshipping in the eastern provinces. Kazi ni Nabiku, yielding to the wind. Fuji smoke dissolves into the sky. My thoughts too know no destination. Yielding to the wind, Fuji smoke dissolves into the sky. My thoughts too know no destination.
Yeah, we read that one.
Interesting in the prior poem, to shake nari kuki means to become a person, is the same as the sound of another verb meaning to ring. So is he saying to become a person? He's got to go ring a bell. Across Suzuki Mountain and shaking off the floating world for another place. What will become of me as I go ringing a bell? As he becomes a person.
You know the expression, does it ring a bell?
Does it ring a bell? But Suzuka literally means bell deer. Ring a bell. Does it ring a bell? Does it make you become a person? Did he become something? Okay, where were we? Poem we read. All right. Okay, we've come all the way down to poem 1617. Yoshino Yama. We've read Yoshino Yama. How's that? Oh, I remember the Japanese first line. Although I am thinking, I will never again leave the Yoshino Hills. Will people be waiting for me thinking after the blossoms scatter? Yoshino Yama. Although I am thinking, I will never again leave the Yoshino Hills. Will people be waiting for me thinking after the blossoms scatter? I thought he had said, I didn't think I'd ever pass by here again.
Yeah, that was a different thing.
I don't know if it's a different poem or what it is. We have no expertise.
Yeah, he said he's never gonna leave.
It says here, because the Yoshino Hills are famous for their cherry blossoms, people expect the poet to return after the blossoms have fallen. Have fallen? I don't know. They expect the poet to return after the blossoms have fallen. Oh, did you mean to? Why after they've fallen?
Oh, maybe before and after. Like
They expect the poet somewhere. The poet either goes home or he comes to see the blossoms. But we're reading this because of cherry blossoms, because it's spring. We're reading on April 15th. Are we reading it because of cherry blossoms?
No.
Then why are we reading it? Well, we happen to like Saigyo's poetry.
We don't happen to like.
Happen?
We don't happen to. We just do.
We do. But how do we know of him other than through Basho?
We just happen to know of him.
We don't know much.
Basho.
We don't know much about any of this stuff.
Now we're getting to know him better.
We don't claim to be experts. We've just discovered Saigyo recently.
We're very lucky.
We are lucky thanks to Basho, which we discovered all by chance one day under the moon. Alrighty. Let's continue with poem 1630.
How did you find Basho? Because you got it.
I've known of that Narrow Road to the Deep North book. I had it a long time ago, and I'm not sure I read it. I don't know what I read of it, but I read. Anyways, 1630 Yama Fukaku. The mountains are deep, even though one's thoughts surely visit them. Without living there, one can know the pity of things. The mountains are deep, even though one's thoughts surely visit them. Without living there, can one know the pity of things? It's a question. Without living there, can you know? What do you mean you got to do? You got to live in the mountains. The mountains are deep, even though one's thoughts surely visit them. Without living there, can one know the pity of things? I guess not. 1631. Yamakagi ni. What are the feelings of those who despise the world, but do not live in a mountain recess? Since it is a world in which, even though it is regretted, the moon also hides in the mountains. So now, people who despise the world, what are the feelings of those who despise the world, but do not live in the mountain recess? ? Since it is a world in which, even though it is regretted, the moon also hides in the mountains. So the people who despise the world, they could go into a mountain recess, But even if they did, they might not find enlightenment anyways, even in the recess, because the moon seems to hide if the moon is enlightenment. And then it says sumanu. While this word means to not live in a place, it is also the same sound as the negative form of the verb to be clear or shine. Both words are utilized in this poem. The second meaning, to not shine, acts as an engo with the moon in a rather circumlocatory fashion, while it modifies kokoyo, the minds of those who despise the world. In the second line, it also relates to the moon in the last line to mean the moon hides in the mountains. The reasoning of the Japanese scholar seems to run as follows. If the moon does not shine well in the mountains, it is therefore hiding in the mountains. What the moon means is similar to the previous poem. The Buddhist moon, enlightenment, hides in the mountains. Although people do not like it, it is necessary to actually go there and hide from society to experience it.
So if you despise the world, you should go and hide in the mountains.
Go hide in the mountains then, if you despise the world.
So you may
Maybe if you're in the world, you shouldn't despise it. Either don't despise it or go hide in the mountains. So, what about those people should not despise the world? Or they should go hide in the mountains and find.
If you cannot but despise the world, then you have
and he also suggests you better go to hide in the mountains. The mountains. He likes mountains.
All the politicians should go and hide in the mountains today.
They despise it. They should.
Should go.
We'll send them to the mountains. They're all being sent to the mountains. 1640. Tari Sumituti. Anyone living in such a place would understand loneliness. In a mountain village, rain falling hard from an evening sky. Anyone living in such a place would understand loneliness. In a mountain village, rain falling hard from an evening sky.
The elements are very hard out in the mountains, you know. The rain keeps falls harder. In the city, you feel protected with everything else, with everybody else.
1641. Shiori Seti. Not making a broken branch trail. I will penetrate deeper into the mountains. I wonder if there is a place where I will not hear dismal things. He's not leaving any trail. Not making a broken branch trail means he's not leaving. He's not. I will penetrate deeper into the mountains without. He's going deeper into meditation. He's going deeper into meditation. I wonder if there is a place where I will not hear dismal things.
What is dismal things?
Negative things. So he's thinking, he still gets these negative thoughts even though he's gone deep into meditation. Well, I should wrap this up. We're part 7 here, and we're reading from Robert Sewell's master's thesis from Columbia, 1967, obtained from Rutgers University, on Saigyo, 12th century poet. It's admired by Basho, which we admire, and we're looking at his cherry blossoms in his mind as part of spring celebration. Any comment there?
Is this something